Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we will going to see the SQL having clause. The having clause was added to SQL because the where keyword cannot be used with the aggregated function. So having clause is specially invented, in the replacement of where clause. The where clause we can use before the group by statement. However, we cannot use the where clause after the group by statement. That is the aggregated function. That's why we will see practically how we can use the having in MySQL. So we have a first scenario over here. The SQL statement lists the number of customer in each country. Only include the country with a more than and equal to one customers. So this is the syntax for that. So if I execute this syntax, I can see the count of customer ID and the country that we have. So here, if I explain this syntax, we are selecting the count of customer ID. We want a count of customer ID column, and we also want a country column from customer table. We are grouping this by the country. Okay. And the group by the moment we use a group by, it means we're using an aggregated function over here, and we are now using a having function. So it is to filter the record, right? Since we're using a group by and it is an aggregated function, we have to use having function, having clause over here to give the condition. So we are using a having clause over here, and we are giving a condition that the customer ID should be greater than and equal to 1. So if we execute that, we will get this one. So if we want this column name to be changed, we can assign this as an alias. For example, new customer ID, new customer ID. Okay, in this way we can just execute this, and you can see the column names has been changed. Okay, so this is the first example that we have. Now we will move to the second example that we have. In the second example, the SQL statement lists the number of customer in each country, store the high to low, only include the country with a more than and equal to one customer. So here we will going to use order by statement after the having clause. Okay, so the syntax more or less would be the same as above. The only thing we are adding over here is order by state. Okay, so if we execute that, we can see the highest count is on the top, right? So this is what we have used the order by statement. Now we will quickly move on to the third scenario, wherein we have the SQL statement to list the employee that have registered the more than and equal to one order, right? So here find statement over here with having clause. So here what we are doing is we are selecting the last name column, and we are also using an aggregated function, that is account, and we are assigning this as an alias for the column name. Okay, and then my first table name, right? So since we're using a to function in this a particular syntax, so that's why we will use a bracket over here. So the first bracket uh, to assign to the this one, the inner join one, and the second column that we have is for the group by state, right? So this is how we have to write the syntax for that. So inner join the second table name, and we will start with the condition with the on. So we have to mention the similar column name that we have in both the tables. So in order table, the employee ID is the similar, the primary key in both the tables. So that's why we will use order that employment ID equal to employee that employee ID, and we will group this by the last name, and we will use the having clause. So if we execute this one, we will get this result. Okay, so this is how we have a having clause over here, and there are some example wherein we can use the where clause as well, right? So if I just take the one of the example wherein if we are using a where clause, how it will look like. So here we have the syntax for the where clause as well. So here we are selecting the last name, and the count of order ID as this one from order table. Here we are using like the inner join for this one, and we are giving a condition for inner join. Now we are using a where clause before the group by statement, so this will going to work. But we cannot use a where clause after the group by statement. After the group by statement, we can only use the having clause. Okay, so that is the main difference between the where and having clause. The more or less the function is same for having and where clause. However, the where clause is used before the group by statement, before the aggregated function, but the having clause is being used after the aggregated function, that is a group by statement. So if I execute this statement, you can see I think we'll not get anything because we don't have that much of record the greater than 25. That's why we are not able to see it. But I hope you got the concept. The where clause we can use before the aggregated function, that is a group by statement, but the having clause will always be used after the group by statement. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.